What's up? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into the podversation. What is up, guys? So let's get into it. Listen, we talked a little bit about this alleged book, Kim's Lost Words, that was ironically only on Amazon, written by someone who is going by a pseudonym, Jamal T. Millwood, which is actually a white man. How many white men do you know named Jamal? I'm just saying, like, I don't know any white men named Jamal, Kareem, Hakeem, Jerome, but I digress. The book has been pulled. So, according to The Guardian, the book Kim's Lost Words, A Journey for Justice, was one of Amazon's bestsellers, but they ultimately decided to take the book off their site after it was deemed fake. So, as it was reported, Kim's children denounced the book, saying that it wasn't true. And I'm glad that it was taken down. I mean, I know a lot of people got their licks off of it, got to doing content about it, reading it, and all that other stuff. And I'm not even saying anything negative about the people that did that. But like I said, I'm not saying that there is nothing that is true in the book, that it's all fiction. I'm not saying that, because there are some things that are in the book that sounded plausible or believable. I didn't have a copy of the book. I didn't read it. But I was talking about the book with one of my friends who was also a client who got the book. And she was telling me about some of the things that were in it, which we were saying that, yeah, those things could be true. It could be real. But it doesn't mean that the book itself was real. And I would hate for somebody to profit off of her pain, off of her life experiences when she no longer has life. It's just not right. So I'm glad that they took it down, and I'm hopeful that people get to recover their money and that the person who was profiting off of it will lose what they gained from it, because it's just not right to make money off of the blood of somebody who was no longer here. It's blood money. It's blood money. And yeah, a lot of us have our suspicions about why she is no longer here and who ultimately was responsible. Yes, a lot of us have those feelings, but it doesn't make it right for someone to write a book making up all this stuff. Or maybe some of the things, like I said, could actually be true situations that have happened, but I didn't perceive her having a book and it would be rolled out in the way that it was rolled out. I just didn't see that happening in that way, especially in light of, yeah, we see that the dad is a monster, but those are still children, even if they're not underage at this point in time. Those are still her children. And it's not right for anyone to not think of the fact that they no longer have their mother, and now they may never see their dad outside of a prison ever again. And so I'm just saying, it's just not cool. So I'm glad that they pulled the book down. But, even with that being said, people are going to believe what they want. So there are still some people that are going to say, well, I don't care what they say. I believe everything that's in the book. And listen, people are free to believe what they want. Doesn't make it true. And again, I'm not saying that everything in the book wasn't real, but it was the way that it was done. And I don't think it's right for anyone else to profit off of this woman's pain, her life stories, her life experiences and situations, especially if that wasn't her words. And the book is called Kim's Lost Words. How insulting. Blasphemous almost, So you let me know what you think about that.
I've never heard Wendy accuse Diddy of committing crimes. She just always accused him of being gay. Freaky. No, gay.
Oh.
Well, gay and freaky.
Yeah, that's
freaky
what
gay.
she said freaky, but
freaky gay.
Yeah, freaky gay.
But here's the thing about Diddy's situation, right? It don't need any more sauce on it. Like, it needs zero seasoning. He's pretty cooked either way, but it is. You mean to tell me a lawyer found 120 people, exactly 60 men and 60 women?
Oh, it was more. They cut it down to that number.
But exactly 60 men and 60 women, the perfect balance of cheeks. Like, come on now. Come on. But and then when you create things, when you say a 1-800 did Diddy rape me hotline, how do you expect humans to operate in good faith with something like that? Like, how can you go through those calls and pick who's credible?
Talking about 20 years ago, I was in a club and he did it. Like, it's. I don't even. I'm just saying, how do you know that these people are making accusations in good faith? Like, you think that you put a hotline out in this era to the World Wide Web, hundreds of thousands, probably millions of people calling. You think people ain't playing? Because you have to. I'm just saying, how do you go through those things and pick who's credible and who's not?
How do you get the job for the person that vets the diddler hotline? Like that, honestly, outside of the attorneys, they have to have help
they're gonna go
that do it. It's like, I don't know. What are the
stories,
perimeters?
the stories that's going to hit the press, the stories that people are going to talk about, that's 9 times out of 10 what they're going to take.
Yeah, it's just things like that which make it feels like it makes it. No, it does. It makes our judicial system a joke, and it ruins the validity of folks with real accusations.
Exactly. And granted, again, these things have not been filed, so we got to wait to see what may be real, what may not be real. But it does. I wouldn't go if I was a victim. I wouldn't be a part of this like major lawsuit. It just looks.
I'm not
like
calling a hotline.
Yeah,
but
at all.
The problem is if you are a victim, a lot of times you can't afford to hire an attorney. So usually an attorney like this will do it for free. We'll do it on the strength of if we win, I get a third. That's why people go to these type of attorneys, because they can't afford to pay for an attorney.
And you see why the reason he's calling out these corporations and these pharmaceutical companies, because that's where he's going to have to get the money from, because Diddy ain't going to have no money. Diddy's going to be spending all his money fighting this criminal case and fighting these civil cases.
And fighting them civil cases.
This is 120 cases right here. That's about $12 to $20 million. Mm-hmm. Just him defending, just him having to answer those civil cases.
But you see, they know what they're doing, because look at us.
And that's before trial. That's before they even go to trial.
That's before anything is even filed.
Yes.
Like, there's not even a filing, and look how deep we had to dive into all of this.
So, in my opinion, Charlemagne seems to be a Diddy apologist. And here's why. It's one thing for them to be on the Breakfast Club and report on the news stories and the headlines, and maybe giving a little bit of commentary or opinions splashed in there. But because other times that he has been on their platform, and to me, even though I didn't watch the Breakfast Club like that, but just clips of things that I've seen, it just really seemed like he was biased. Because there was a time when Diddy was on the show, and I'll never forget this clip, and I believe it was regarding Mace and about money that Mace was saying he was old and and different things like that. And so Charlemagne was asking him about it, and he wasn't really answering the question. He was just pretty much saying, we're not entertaining the nonsense. But something that Charlemagne said after that, there was just like, well, this really does make you look biased 100%. But, Diddy, in that interview, he said, we don't entertain nonsense, but, Charlemagne was like, and, we didn't believe it anyway. So for Charlemagne to interject like that, it just made him come across as 100% biased. So now to hear the things that are coming out and him not just report on it and let it be that, or to just say, well, we're going to see what comes of this. Even if you say, well, I hope his kids are okay, or, something like that along the lines, whatever. But to now question this happening, to me, it's like you're trying to cast that doubt, just like the attorney said in the press conference that people are going to do. So it's like, wondering, was Charlemagne one of those people that was coming at the victims or the attorney? I'm not saying that he was, but to do what he's doing on a big platform like they have, I don't think is cool, because you're casting doubt on something that is very plausible that has happened. They said out of the thousands of people that contacted the firm, there are over 100. So in the grand scheme of things, if you consider the percentage of the thousands that reached out to their law firm, and only hundreds of them they have accepted as clients. Again, that's not to say that out of those thousands, everyone was a liar. Yeah, there probably was a few sprinkled in there to see how they can jump on the bandwagon, but that's a very small percentage. Now, that's a lot of people that he messed up, allegedly, but it's definitely possible. So, like the attorney said, this is from a span of the early 90s up until early this year. So, yeah, it 100% could be possible that that's indeed what happened. So for Charlemagne to be on this large platform like he has, to be casting this type of doubt, and yeah, there's going to be a lot of people that think the same way that he thinks and believe that, but I just think it's extremely irresponsible. I'm not here to say that he should say, yeah, he's 100% guilty, but now you're saying that, I don't know about that. That's just all these people. It just sounds like, people are just trying to get in good where they can fit in and get a quick dollar. But no, it doesn't make the judicial system look like a joke. It makes Sean Combs look like a deviant who could never get enough and was thirsty, hungry, and feeding off of the power, the pride, the ego, the lust, the deviancy, the drug addiction, the alcohol addiction, all of that, and operating in that way. So yeah, it 100% could be possible. So I just didn't think that was cool. But you can let me know what you think.
All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
And speaking of letting us know what they think, Wendy Williams has broken her silence. And when I tell you, I was so happy to hear this because I was actually just talking with a friend about this recently, and it was like, man, Wendy is missing right now with all of this stuff going on, because she was calling it years ago. And now with all of this stuff coming out, it would definitely be a treat to not even really have her talk about it, but to just sit in the purple chair, let the stories play, and then she sip out of her cup and just give eyes to the camera, right? So this is by way of the Daily Mail UK, and it says Wendy Williams has issued rare comments after Sean Diddy Combs' arrest for sex trafficking. She says, what is really weird is that I have been told by so many people, Wendy, you called it, including some people from my family who have said the same. The tabloid reports Williams is no stranger to Diddy and has been openly critical of the rapper long before the feds were knocking on his door. In 2017, Williams interviewed Diddy on The Wendy Williams Show, and the two seemed to make amends. He says, I know I pissed a lot of people off, including you, but this is a full circle moment, everybody. Get into adult conversation. And then back in May, a 2016 surveillance video showing Diddy just beating the brakes off of Cassie was circulating, and so Wendy was thinking, it was a long time coming. She said, how I feel about that? It is about time. To see this video on TV of Cassie getting pummeled, it was just horrific. But now you have to think, how many more times? How many people? How many more women? It's just so horrible. And other than that, that's pretty much all she had to say, besides telling them that, within light of all of the stuff that she had been going through, the health challenges and struggles financially and all of that good stuff, she's doing pretty good. So it's good to hear her just share her thoughts on it, even if it's just 4 or 5 words. So this was something that I was excited to see. When I saw that she made comments about it, I was like, finally, we get to hear what she has to say. So let me know what you think about Wendy giving her reaction to seeing some justice coming his way, not just in light of the things that he has done to those victims, but also the karma for what he did to her, getting her fired from her radio job many years ago. You know what I mean? Because of the power that he had, influence, and all of those things. So let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.
Found myself inside all this tension.